Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Virtual Velocity Racing O'Reilly/Xfinity Series as we are here at Talladega again, but this time for real. This time it's going to count. This time it is for points as we get rid of Worldwide Technology Raceway. We replace it here with Talladega to keep the schedule the same length, or actually technically shorten it by a race. But this is the penultimate race here of the season, as we only got one more coming up at Pocono next week to determine our champion. But I think the champion may already be kind of done and dusted. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. Carl Amrick joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, back here at the Superspeedway, but this time it counts. This time is for reals.
Yeah, they actually wanted to do it for real. Last one was only set for 40 laps, and they're going to be out here for 80. And we've seen them out here have a great time and kind of run what they needed to run. And, they decided to come back instead of doing Worldwide Technology. As a driver, yes, I'd rather do Talladega. Worldwide Technology it can be a beast with its unique corners. But for broadcasting, I would actually, I'd love to go back over to Worldwide Technology. Super Speedway is obviously a little white knuckling racing here, and yes, the points is kind of done and dusted for as far as champion goes, as Dalton Kilrow has that wrapped up. Pretty much just needing to show up these last few races. But tonight, as you can see on your screen, your pole sitter is John Garrett, but on the outside, Dalton Kilrow. So still looking to get them checkered flags here tonight, and wants to start out front doing it. Ryan Kelly there is in P number 3, DJ Mitchell in 4th, Todd Merkel in 5th, and then Brandon Meir, Tyler Hilton, Sean Wilder. I've seen some fans out there for Sean there earlier in the chat, and then Robert Kahn, Maxwell Caldwell, Len McNeese, Cole Spalding, Mike Hasty, Eric Plump, Gordon Larson, Hemi Gardini out there, Michael Taylor, Cade Green, and we still have a few more actually, believe it or not, as even at the end of the season here with only one more race after this one, we have 22 drivers out there. So 19th is going to be Tom Orasco, Tim Lee back in 20th, Michael Pratt, our anchor, I guess if you want to call him that. He's there every week, and Todd Boston back there as well. So should be a good one. A lot of clean racing here from the drivers here at VVR, so I expect some green flag pit stops. That's what I'm here for, as always, on the Super Speedway. And we're looking to see who can come away with the victor here tonight.
I think the only way that Mike Casey has a chance at the title here this season is for bigger size fields like this, and hopes that Dalton Kilrow has a bad race. And Jimmy, I'm gonna call it right now. I'm gonna say Dalton Kilrow will not get the win here tonight. My reasoning: he's on the front row, Jimmy. He's on the front row. He is starting way too far up there.
I mean, he did say last week he was going to try some stuff new. This might be one of the new things.
To get his qualifying up there a little bit as well, but I don't know. His record from the front row compared to his record starting from 5th on back is completely different. But either way, wish all the drivers that luck out there to just survive Dega and survive the first 75 laps, and then get after it and give Jimmy at least one, if not 2 or 3 green flag pit stops for sure. But pace car is in. But we got some time. We are going to pace around here for a little bit until we get to the restart zone here, all the way through the tri-oval, as the start-finish line is at the end of pit road. We've got 22 cars out here. Only one winner here for the penultimate race. We are green at Talladega.
And John Garrett on the gas pedal with Ryan Kelly ran that rear bumper as Dalton Kilrow. Going to try on the outside there, as the outside gets a pretty solid run there. I think it's a pretty solid run throughout the field altogether. As I glance back to my right side, I know y'all can't see that far, but yeah, it looks like they're just too wide back there. Having a good old time as they work their way around, and it does look like John Garrett kind of has the upper hand at the moment going into turn number 3, as that outside should gain some momentum. But kind of watching turn practice, and what I was seeing was the lines were pretty even for the most part. What I did notice seemed to be working, and if you're brave enough or accepting of the guy behind you, to get a little bump, gives him like a little jolt forward, and kind of like a little momentum shift. It does seems to work. But it does look like John Garrett will get the first lap led here at Talladega tonight.
So 2x2 pretty much throughout the entire field here, and just waiting for them to settle in here, see if they settle in to single file racing at any point. I mean, this track is wide enough that too wide basically acts as single file racing. There's plenty of room to maneuver around, plenty of room for activities. Quote from actually Step Brothers. I was going to say Talladega Nights. Now it was Step Brothers, but either way, a quick rundown of the points. As mentioned, it is Dalton Kilroe leading the point standings by 135 over Mike Hasty, and then another 11 back to Brandon Meir, Eric Blunt, Sean Wilder, Michael Pratt, DJ Mitzel, Len McNeese, Michael Taylor, and Cole Spaulding are your top 10. Good to see our fearless leader, Tim Lee, out there tonight, and finally get a chance to join the boys out there for another race here in the number 24, as we are green flag racing here. And again, it's not going to be long until this season is over, till we ditch the Xfinity cars, the O'Reilly cars, whatever you want to call them, and go trucking for the second half of the year. And I know we've seen it now a little bit with which was it, the Hold Your Brakes Academy running the truck series. Looking forward to seeing what VVR does when they start doing their trucking.
Yeah, it's they obviously drive a little bit different. Obviously, it's my preferred oval vehicle, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm not a huge fan of the Xfinity car. It never was. It just never felt right with me the whole time I had to drive it to get to the A-class driver's license for oval. But just always kind of is meh to me. Real tight all the time. Well, back then it was real tight, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me for some reason. But the trucks just felt right to me when I was driving them. They were extremely close to the A car back then, or the Gen 6 car that we see on Sunday nights. And it was they were fun, so I could run the A car, run the truck, run the A car, run the truck, and I did that for weeks and weeks and weeks, pretty much every day. Get off work and go racing, until my hands were sore, I guess. And as I was battling with a wheel strapped to the desk in a wheeled chair trying to press brakes, it was a very interesting concept back then that I was trying to get done, and did okay, but have fell in kind of a spot here just to put on a show for all the fans out there and get out there when I can. But it does take a little bit of time to knock off some of the dust, especially on some of the tracks you've really been to a lot, and get back into the speeds. I mean, dropping 5, 6 seconds off your lap times, one thing. It's it seems like every month I'm like, oh, I can go this fast, but it's the consistency, Carl, and I think that's what hurts me as far as I can find the speed, I can find the corners, like how you're supposed to take them, but it's putting them all together and being super consistent. And for me, not being out there week in and week out or every day, I kind of lost that knack to be able to put it together consistently. But VVR has been real consistent with their green flag runs throughout the season here, and each and every season that we've covered them so far. And right now we're witnessing just yet another one here. We're on lap 6 of 80, and John Garrett is still out front with Ryan Kelly on that back bumper, with Todd Brecker, Tyler Hook, and Len McNeese for your top 5.
Yeah, so far so good, as it's starting to spread out a little bit single file, but still some lines on the outside, even 3 wide right there with Hilton in at the middle. Maybe not where he wants to be, especially when he gets a little shot there from Mitzel on the outside. Like, all right, fine, I'll go down to the bottom. You don't have to tell me twice. But either way, so sometimes you just need a little slap. You just okay, all right, my bad. But the O2 gets in line down there, is now looks like McNeese going to do the same thing, dropping down in line with the 84, and then behind him is where you have the current quote-unquote battlefield, and not really too much battling going on right now. The driver just kind of settling in, still quite a long ways to go, so just kind of just pacing it out right now, trying that outside line to see maybe how the how the side draft works, how well it does, and maybe try and find some partners. Again, it's kind of the biggest thing. You need to find out who you work well with early on, and see what's going to work for you at the end, and maybe trying out a couple different partners. Maybe your teammate sucks. put it bluntly, and maybe you want to find somebody else to work with, to the end of the race, and that's this is the time to try and figure it out, as we're only about a tenth of the way through this race. A little bit of a gap from the front pack, as they are single file for the first about 5 or 6 spots. And it looks like some drivers dropping out of the inside and just going to shuffle their way back through the field. I think that was the 94 dropping back there, but all single file there at the front, and then DJ Mitzel kind of leads this 2-wide battle, trying to catch back up to the front pack.
Yeah, I mean, once they settle into kind of like a formation and just kind of willing to kind of run single file, you can just start seeing them kind of run away. And you see him kind of, we talked about the cars drifting around a little bit, but, sometimes that is for, the visuals. So you can see a little bit going down the straightaway, or maybe to cool that car down just a little bit. I'm not quite sure. Temperatures have been pretty decent here, as long as you're not like on somebody's bumper pushing them around, lap in, lap out, over and over again. And so you can see kind of up there, Ryan Kelly and Todd Merkel, like right there. So you just have to be careful, as far as drafting and not allowing any air to get on the front of their own vehicle. They're getting the draft, they're saving the fuel, but got to poke out there every now and then. Make sure you keep that those water temperature and oil temperatures down here, so you don't blow up your car. It's probably the worst thing for a VVR race is a blown engine and have to pit and we go tons of laps down. Lucky dogs are a privilege around here. As the cautions don't happen extremely often. But got some battling as the front is back to single file, and then you got a group back here kind of just running 2-wide. And they were out there practicing for about 40 to 50 minutes, Carl, and doing a lot of running, bumping, and but I didn't see much pit practice, which makes me a little concerned.
Oh, not me. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping they do get some replay pit stops, and I'm hoping it is a little chaotic, because it's definitely it can get interesting, and it really shakes up the field when it just takes one or two people making a mistake, and not wishing ill on any of the drivers in particular out here. Just it's organized chaos is what it is coming into the pit lane here under green, and it's a fun spectacle to watch. And sometimes it's more fun than watching the race itself. I mean, honestly, Jimmy, 80-lap race, give him 10% fuel. Let's just see him pit a ton of times. I know they won't like it, but me and you will have a freaking blast.
Could you imagine? Not enough fuel, and then they'd be like, oh, what kind of fuel strategy is this? Give them something to really complain about. Give them like 3 laps
we'll let them fill the tank up to 15% when they come in the first time. We'll give them a little bit, a little spit extra.
You like a progressive fuel increase. Like the first time you pit, you get 20%, and then the next time you pit, you get 30%. It'd be kind of a unique way to run a race,
Listen, we're not
for pitting and running longer.
We'll give them unlimited tires. So we'll do that for them. We'll give them unlimited tires here at Dega. It's so important.
Only a Dega.
Exactly.
I mean, I would even let, just to see them pit that many times, I would even take damage off.
Yes, exactly. Black flags now. Can't do that.
No, not black flags. But the damage, we'll deal with the damage and let it pop back out. Because usually, in those races where they'll remove damage, the car's damaged for a few seconds. So you can have a jacked up wheel, but I've been in some of those where it doesn't fully repair, and you might have a jacked up wheel 15 degrees to the left, and it's just stuck like that for the rest of the race. But it's kind of interesting what some of the things that they can do, and it's even kind of like the way Majors is doing their pre-qualifier, and that's basically you get your team out there, you run the best you can, and then they take your average, and then you put in a split with average your drivers. So you might have somebody on your team that runs 5 seconds faster than everybody else, But because there's so many slower cars on the team, it's going to bring that average down. So when he's out there, he's quick, but when your other guys are out there, they might be super slow. So, and hopefully you just kind of fall in the middle, and they do their best to. Kind of one of the more interesting ways that I've seen, and obviously it's worked. There's been some great races. We've just, when we were able to race for a while, we're doing okay, but it was getting caught up in the shenanigans. So that's going to be interesting, especially them first few stints when everybody's kind of close and. Trying to work out pit stops, that we're actually talking about now, and getting in there and getting it those entries and things to do to kind of make that race yours and be better than the others. Matter of fact, at Le Mans, the entry is actually quite tricky if you're not paying attention because it has a chicane right in the middle of it. And it's you got to hit it just right, and you can kind of cut the corner and get on the gas a little bit. But then it's like, as soon as you get through that, it's cones, which means you better be in your pit limiter and down the speed, and then make it back to your box, and hopefully not have to serve a black flag penalty for a bad entry. So it's a tough one because you can get some really good speed, but you can screw up that last little chicane to slow you down and. Next thing you know, you're back 40 seconds or so. But not back 40 seconds here tonight. The only person I'm kind of concerned about, and I'm not quite sure what happened at the start, was the number 19 of Cade Green. As we're on lap 15, so it took them 15 laps to kind of catch up there. You can see him going by. But if I look out the back of his vehicle here, you can see the field is coming.
Yeah, about to go a lap down, and he'll finally have some drafting partners, but unfortunately going to have to get the lap back somehow, maybe a caution at some point to get the lap back. But yeah, I mean, you talk about kind of being mid-pack to me. I mean, we are 185th right now with our qualifying time for Le Mans. But hey, there's 216 teams, so
you ain't last.
Exactly. We're somewhere in the very, very, very far back midfield. But yes, we're right in the middle and still waiting for a couple of our teammates to put their qualifying runs in. But hey, one team we are beating right now. Shout out to some of the drivers over there in CSRL at Digital Sim Sports with Wayne Burrell, Steve Lazan, Stephen Pless, and Glenn Lazan. As we got them right now, as they're down there in 213th. So yeah, neener. We got somebody that we're a little bit better at.
Yeah, no, it'd actually be great to be out there with. It seems that we poke our noses in these races, and there's usually somebody out there that's either heard of CRN or seen me and Carl, or they've been in part of a broadcast somewhere down the line. So there's a few teams who we see each and every time that we go out there, and it kind of really depends on our makeup of drivers. So there is a huge following for those special events, and if each team's running the same people each and every event, so there's a good chance that you'll probably see who you competed with last time. So and that's good and bad because there has been some times where you get into it with some people. So Sebring was an eventful one for myself. But as soon as the guy decided to muck it all up and started using foul language, it was like, that's no more fun because he's just going to get in trouble. So, but either way, it's those races. You think tension's high on like a 45-minute race? Try 24 hours, where you got to see the guy over and over again. Especially be slower or faster than
we're certainly nowhere near the top of the split. I mean, looking at the times that we were, there's the team that's on top right now. Is the whole team is running 337s, and we're in the mid 340s. So we're where we need to be, down towards the bottom. And I'm sure one or both of our other teammates will drag us up the boards a little bit, and maybe if me and Jimmy get the itch, we may try to throw throw one more qualifying attempt in there just to see what we can do, and you spread out the gap between us and Digital Sim Sport a little bit more.
Yeah. I think I got another 2 seconds. So we're really kind of in there. I'll be honest. I was scared about getting off tracks. I was scared about just putting the time in, and then you're nailing at the one. I should have been at least a half a second. My fastest lap should have been a half a second faster. But when you lock up the brakes on an LMP2, they just slide. So and then I was lucky enough to not get an off track for it. So I mean, some downshifting and some fighting the wheel, but the drivers aren't really fighting too much wheel here. They're not even fighting for position, Carl. This is like a conga line, but I'll have to give it to a big mover here. 18 spots to the number 31 of Todd Poston. So got the Nerds Machine up there pretty quickly. He's kind of lurking, wants to be up front here with everybody, and trying to get it done. And right now, I think Ryan Kelly's in a good spot, but obviously comfortable with pushing the number 66 here at the moment, and they know that they're going to have to pit. When that pit lap is, I don't know. We have 80 laps, so halfway would be 40. Right now, I'm going to say somewhere like 30-something, like 30-ish lap. Or maybe. We'll see.
I can tell you one thing. If you take a look at the driver back there in 19th right now, Jimmy, I mean, he started on the front row. Look, he's way back there in 19th. He sucks. He's way off pace. No pace here tonight. Not even close to the lead right now.
Try something different. That was starting on the front row.
4 seconds back, Jimmy. 4 seconds back. It's horrible start for him. But no, these drivers, as lame as it may seem, as boring as it may seem, just kind of running single file right here. This is what the drivers need to do, and this is what a lot of leagues need to take a look at, and some of the drivers in other leagues need to realize, like, listen, this is a long race. It's 80 laps. You get to the lead right now, it doesn't matter. Sure, you may get a bonus point if your league does that. Okay, great. Whoopee. But what happens when you're trying to get up to the front and you wreck out, and all of a sudden that one bonus point you're going for maybe costs you 30 points in your finishing position? It's not worth it this early in the race. That's why I say 90% of the race, 95% of the race, just run. Just click the laps off, be safe, try and figure out, here and there, if you want to, figure out who you think are going to be good partners for the end, sure. But, get through the first pit stop, 2 pit stops, whatever it is, get towards the end of the race, the last 5-10% of the race, then start getting yourself into that position to make that final run. But right now, it means nothing. And that's why you see the driver just kind of settling in right now, clicking off the laps. We'll see, if any kind of fuel strategy is coming into play. Shocker. I know we're talking about fuel here, VVR, but, certainly the only one that's burning more fuel than anyone else right now is that leader, John Garrett. And, if he doesn't have any teammates, if he didn't have anybody to help him, he could technically have to pit, a lap before everybody else, maybe even 2 laps before everybody else. If he didn't have anybody to pit with, he'd be hung out to dry. And we may have a new leader for the second run. So that's kind of the only thing you really need to maybe take a look at. For Cade Green, it looks like he started from a pit lane. That's why he ended up getting caught and is now a lap down. He's in here mixed in with the field, so he's at least got plenty of drafting partners running 6th in line right now, and would certainly enjoy a caution, and maybe hoping that this first pit stop coming up here soon causes a caution to get himself back on the lead lap. But right now, it is Garrett, Kelly, Merkel, Poston, and Spalding for your top 5. Hilton, McNeese, Caldwell, Wilder, and Mitzel for your top 10. I just want to send a shout out and thanks to our sponsors for the series, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs.
That's a great group of sponsors. They've been with VVR for a while, and trying to continue that run here is obviously going to start another season after a small break. Obviously just finished up CSRL, so down to 1 race on Wednesday nights for a little while, and see John Garrett going down below the yellow line there, just a little bit, maybe a rough bump there from Ryan Kelly, pushing that 66 down a little bit farther, and some drivers kind of looking around, just floating up just a little bit, just trying some things. Obviously now's the kind of a time, obviously, where they're starting to get ready to pit, and I don't know how many more laps I can go before they need to pit, but you know, this would, you know, these early runs, you know, sometimes you know, people will right before the pit stop or something, they'll like poke their nose out or see how far they can gain or how much they can gain or what they need to do, you know, because when it does come to go time, you know, when go time is kind of depending on where you're at in the track. So, you know, if you're Michael Taylor back here in 21st place, hanging on to the last guy, you know, what do I need to do to, you know, get by everybody? You don't have anybody behind you to go with you. So your only hope is that, you know, whoever you pass decides to join you and grab onto your tail and hopefully get a couple spots. But this is probably obviously the roughest and the longest place to be to get to the front. And, you know, you kind of need to know what you need to do to get up towards the front besides, you know, obviously avoiding the big one. But yeah, you can see each driver here kind of doing their own thing. Everybody just hanging in there. Just as we go up to the field, it does look like, I think it's Brandon Muir. He's kind of like in the middle. I think he has a little bit of draft, and the 6 Eric Blunt does look like he's catching just a little bit. And that will help the 71 catch back up as well. So being in that kind of dead zone by yourself can be nice.
It's scary. It's scary when you're back there about 8, 9 tenths of a second because you fell back for whatever reason, and you're starting to wonder, can I make it? Can I catch up to the guys up there? It is scary when you see that time just slowly ticking down until you see it level out and start going the opposite way and you start reeling it back in. It can be a really scary feeling because if you lose that draft, you're going to eventually be caught back up again once the drivers are lapping you. There's no other way to get back in there. But yeah, you see first round of pit stops here tonight. At least John Garrett had a few other drivers come in there with him, kind of spread through the field for the drivers that came in, as you got Garrett in the pits along with Tyler Hilton, and Katie Green did come into the pits as well. So 3 cars now coming back out. A little battle between Katie Green and Tyler Hilton, but they'll straighten it out here, and hopefully these 3 can get hooked up quickly, because already here on lap number 25, this is when you're going to start to see the field spread out because of the different runs, the different ways drivers getting into the pits. Now we got a big group of drivers coming into pit lane, as pretty much the rest of the field, with the exception of the top 4 into pit lane right now. Caldwell, Marasco, Kilrow, and Kahn all staying out for one more lap, and we'll see them most likely come in this next time by. And wait, let's try and see. It looked like, okay, Hemi Giardini just taking a little bit to get into the pits. Ryan Kelly is going to make his pit stop as well. So the entire field, with the exception of the top 4, which should be coming in this time by, as we'll see them come off a turn number 4, and then sure enough, they're coming down into pit lane. Last one down in there is Marasco, lighting up the tires, getting it woed up into pit lane. He's got to try and find a way to get filed in there because he doesn't want to get taken out by the 94 unless he got an early pit box, which he does. So he brings the 1 in there. Caldwell going to bring it in to pit lane, as does Robert Kahn, and now Dalton Kilrow coming into that second pit stall in line and missing it as he tried. Maybe he thought he had the pole here tonight, Jimmy. I don't know, but again, he's starting the front row, so everything is going against the 41 here tonight. But this is the lead pack from the drivers that came into the pits. Todd Poston leading Merkel and McNeese. Now we're seeing Caldwell, Marasco, Kahn, and Kilrow coming out of the pits, but they are not going to be too close. It looks like a big mistake there for Kilrow, as he is going to lose the pack unless he can somehow get up to speed and grab onto the back of one of these cars that are spread out back here. But Jimmy, we got a few cars that are in their own danger zone. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 here in a row, and they're better off right now just kind of slowing up, getting themselves hooked up together, and taking a run out. And you see Ryan Kelly right here had some issues as well. Looks like we will have one black flag. Hemi Giardini and the 17 looks like some issues exiting pit lane. He's gonna have to bring that 17 back into pit lane. But here's the battle for the lead now. McNeese gonna go to the high side with Mitzel. to try and take over the top 2 spots, and they will do so, slide down in front of Boston and Merkel. And the 66 there, John Garrett, now looking to the outside. Hilton thought about going with him. Now he ducks back down in line. And we'll have a little bit of a battle until the group kind of just forms back up here and goes for another little run. But already here on lap number 30. So laps ticking away here, but again, still 50 to go.
You see the O2 there, let the 66 kind of down into the line, and you see the O2 came in together along with Cade Green, and Cade Green obviously needs that that caution to come out in order to be fighting for any kind of top position here tonight, because he's a lap down. Him and Gherardini obviously has to come down, serve a penalty, and he'll end up going a lap down here as well. So he would like to kind of get up there and be able to battle with Cade, I'm sure, to try to stay in front of him. But Ryan Kelly by himself. Dalton Kilrow back here has got the back bumper of Gordon Larson, and they're going to go ahead and they'll go ahead and catch up to Michael Taylor, and they'll start building up, and they'll just keep collecting people, and Tim Lee, and then Michael Pratt kind of sitting by himself as well, and then Robert Kahn. A lot of drivers kind of there, and then you got Eric Blount and the 72 of Mike Hasty together, so it's going to take them a little while longer. But here's your lead group. Your last person in that on that lead or in the lead group is the one of Ty Marasco. That's 11th. And then you got Maxwell Caldwell in 10th, Cole Spalding in 9th, Sean Wilder, the number 91, for all our fans out there, running currently in 8th where he started. Brandon Meir up there in 7th, Tyler Hilton in the O2, John Garrett that led a lot of the early laps here, sitting back here in P number 5 at the moment. Todd Merkel in 4th, Todd Poston in the number 31, up 19 spots in P number 3. And then BJ Mitchell in the 4 and 2nd, and Len McNeese out in front in the Western Autos machine, number 84, leading here tonight.
I want to thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation for tuning in tonight. Hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer. As we mentioned, this is the penultimate race here for the season. We'll have one more race next week at Pocono, but our schedule is going to get pretty light here as a lot of the series kind of wrapping up here. I know 191 just kind of starting up, so they're still well into the schedule. Hold Your Brakes Academy on Monday night is kind of the back half of their schedule, but still got a few races left and go all the way into July. On Tuesday, the Core O'Reilly Series is going to have the week off next week, but then they'll be back for their season finale the week after that at Michigan. Wednesday nights, CSRL wrapping up yesterday, and they're going to be starting back up in a few weeks. And then Pit Road Speed Limit Racing just kind of started back up, so they'll be going yet. But Thursdays, once VVR ends next week, will be completely free because Core GT has their season finale tonight. So 1.5 hour season finale for the Core GT if you want to check them out once we get done and wrapped up here for VVR. But right now it's a good race, chugging along here. Looks like the field kind of getting back into single file racing, but we do have some gaps out there. You're looking at the main drive at the front here. It involves the top 11 cars, and then Mike Casey is the first one that leads a little 2-car pack with him and Eric Blunt. Okay, I think the 6 and the 21 maybe have the same paint scheme. That's what confused me there a little bit. So Hasty and Blunt, a little 2-man pack, 6 seconds off the pace. Then another 6 seconds back to this group right here, led by Eric Blunt, Gordon Larson, Dalton Kilrow, Tim Lee, Michael Taylor, Michael Pratt, Robert Kahn, and Ryan. Actually, Robert Kahn's the last one, and then Ryan Kelly is another 16 seconds back, and probably closer to the lead pack, lapping him than anything else. I'm not sure what exactly happened to Ryan Kelly. I think he might have missed his pit stall when he came in there because he didn't have any penalties or anything like that. But a long time in pit road. But Len McNeese leads it here at the front in the number 84.
Yeah, just driving along here, single file, and the driver's not getting too concerned, and they know they still have half a race to go, and you can see good pit stops, lead group. Okay pit stops, the little group in the middle. And then ones that were having some troubles, they're in the back. And then the ones that had a lot of troubles, they're by themselves. So it's definitely, not ideal. And Hemi Gardini just getting tagged there with probably speeding off the pit lane, trying to get on it and a little bit too early, or load it up a little too high and cross the line before the blue cone as it's right out of turn number 2. So it's a long kind of wraparound down there on the apron to come out, and sometimes if you're trying to push, you push the car out too wide, you cross the line and you get penalized. So they want you to keep it down below the yellow line exiting before the blue cone. And then you're able to come out and join the field. But you're going to see the lead pack here get by Hemi Gardini in that number 17 up on the high side, and he's going to go down a lap here. I think actually that would be his second lap. So Cade Green is your first car a lap down. Now, obviously, they will catch the 13, I'm sure, in another 10 or 12 laps or so. But kind of concerned, I guess, for the number 13 of, the 19 of Cade Green, where he's only one lap down, and he needs to be in front of the 13. So, all of a sudden you go, obviously we're off the super speedway, everybody's racing for the lead, but now you have a race inside a race just for a lucky dog spot. And you can see the 71 of Brandon Muir starting to mix things up here just a little bit, getting a run underneath the 02. Is the 02 sticking with his pitting partner there, is number 66 of John Garrett. And they're going to look to the outside, kind of liven things up, maybe start bringing some of the rest of the field closer together. Just trying some things out here earlier and what it takes. Can these two cars work their way up from, sitting here in 7th position up to the front. So this is kind of a trial and error thing. Got plenty of time to do it and just kind of see. All right, we need that third car. We need the 19 of Cade Green, the other driver that came down and pit. Come on up here and help us. See if we can get this outside rolling. Because obviously you need a good group of cars. There is a technique that you can do to kind of side draft a little bit and help pull along, but you need your partner behind you to be almost tucked up right alongside you, or right underneath that back bumper as well. But you see the outside not quite working. The 02 slips back in line there, and I'm sure the 66 will get a spot here probably right after the 1. As that field kind of go by. So 66 is going to tuck back down in there nice and neat and say, well, we gave it a try. At this moment, it's not working. We need more people to kind of get out there. But if you go back here with John Garrett and Tyler Hilton, these are the 3 that pit together. And Cade Green is a lap down. So, but he still came in as, he was out there by himself, burning fuel just as much as John Garrett was. So he had to come down and take fuel. So just waiting patiently for a caution to maybe happen here at VVR, which doesn't happen very often at all. And then you can see this group of 2 still hanging in there, but the gap is getting smaller and smaller back to Gordon Larson, with Dalton Kilrow pushing Tim Lee back there. Michael Taylor, Michael Pratt was doing pretty good early on, and Robert Kahn. I used to seeing some of these drivers so far back in the field, and now kind of in a situation they have to run like this. If they want a chance to catch up to the main pack, they probably need a caution, but they can start picking up the other drivers that are up in front of them. So that's what they're doing. But the other pack with Mike Hasty and Eric Blount right here, they're coming up on. I want to say they have somebody in front of them. We go to the news. Yeah, you can see Hemi Gardini up there. So Mike Casey, Hemi Gardini, same team. So I'm sure they're going to pick them up, and there'll be a 3-car tandem and get some speed, a little more speed. They'll take that pack behind here of a 12th place a little bit longer to catch them, or kind of keep them in that fighting chance to kind of get in there and maybe get up to the leaders if they were to start battling. But right now it's all about kind of saving time and trying to work as a team and try to and there's a group to catch the rest of the field, and hopefully the other groups make a mistake. But no mistakes kind of in sight at the moment, as Len McNeese in number 84 is still your leader with DJ Mitchell, Todd Poston, Todd Merkel, Brandon Muir, Chuck Wilder, Cole Spaulding, Maxwell Caldwell, Ty Marasco, and then John Garrett for your top 10.
That takes us to the halfway point of this 80-lap race. So, Jimmy, I think it's about time while these drivers are cruising around here. Probably about 10 more laps till their next pit stop, maybe a little bit longer. Going out there and see our nation. A little love to hear it.
Love it.
Sights and sounds here of the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series at Talladega, and we got our second round of pit stops underway, and you see a big, massive exodus from the track. We still got 3 cars out there at the front. Merkel, Caldwell, and Marasco is deciding not to pit, and you got Ryan Kelly mixed in with them as well. I'm sure all 4 of them will probably come in the next lap or 2 to make their pit stop. And I mean, looking at it, Jimmy, it should be the final pit stop here, based on what we've seen here so far. All 4 cars pretty much 4 wide. Got to get a sandwich back in there. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. No black flags. Just exactly what you want to see. And I can hear the smile on Jimmy's face right now as we've seen our second set of green flag pit stop. But now you see the cars coming back out, led right now by Sean Wilder and that tasty-looking Reese's number 91 out front leading this pack. But DJ Mitchell's got some other ideas as he goes to the high side, and the 91 goes up there to block the lane a little bit early, do a little blocking, but either way, it's not going to pay off. Or it's going to get a great run off the corner. Now, is that going to slow up this pack here a little bit and kind of put them behind the 8 ball, because the other field now coming out of the pits, but they're going to get passed, I think, here pretty quickly going into turn number 1. Here comes the field, and I don't know if they're going to get up to speed enough to catch up to the back of this pack, possibly, as the field goes around them right now through turns 1 and 2. Ryan Kelly trying his best to get this field wound up, trying to reach to the back of this field, and they may just have it, maybe, as it looks like the 71 there, Brandon Muir, is back off the back of the pack, maybe enough to pick them up, whether he wanted to be or not. But we may be back to a good size field up here once again. We'll see how it all shakes out here. Looks like if we do, it'll give us 11 cars up here in the lead pack. You got to go another 15 seconds back to get to Gordon Larson, who leads the second pack with Dalton Kilrow. Told you, shouldn't have started in that front row. Robert Kahn, Mike Casey, Eric Blunt, Mike Taylor.
You cursed
and Mike
from lap 1.
I mean,
you're like, I'm going to go with Dalton's not going to win tonight.
He cursed himself on negative lap 1 when he put that qualifying effort in there and put himself on that front row. That was all his fault. but either way, you never know what happens here. We'll see if we end up getting that caution. I know Cade Green would love to see a caution here to get himself back on the lead lap and get him in the mix of things. But as it stands right now, we got Mitchell, Poston, McNeese, and Wilder, along with Spalding for your top 5. Near Caldwell, Marasco, Merkel, and Garrett for your top 10.
Yeah, and obviously Garrett and Hilton back here trying to work together to catch up to the back bumper there. Todd Merkel and maybe Todd backing off a little bit, or trying to like stretch out the, you know how you can fall back just a little bit, stay in towing range, and hopefully the drivers behind you get a sniff to try to pull them up to you. And some drivers will do that. They'll kind of lay back just a little bit, just enough, and hopefully able to get one of their buddies that draft that they need to kind of catch up and slingshot them up there. But it does look like that gap is just out of reach. John Garrett back there 1.6 seconds back, which is out of the draft. It's typically right around 1.2 where it's really weak. And once you get within that range, then you can kind of get up there. But yeah, it does look like Tyler Hilton off the wall.
Exit stage left. Is that going to bring out a caution? Is the question. It looks like he stops it on the track and exits quickly, so we will stay green, but I'm not sure what happened on that one. That looks like equipment malfunction there, Jimmy, because that thing went straight to the left and big old bin to the inside.
The wheel?
I don't know. That was wicked for sure. If he did, it will come up for sure.
That's not what you want to wake up as your car is parked in the fence. No caution, though.
You had those dreams before, I'm sure, where you feel like you're falling and obviously you snap yourself awake. Well,
there he is. His screen froze.
Awake right there.
Yeah, he verified it. He said his screen froze. That sucks, Tyler. It just looked like, what's going on? Tyler goes to the right, Tyler goes to the left, and then Tyler's exiting the car.
We had Emmy rage quit earlier. I guess I was Tyler's screen rage quitting on him. But,
what do you mean we're making me going 60 laps here at Talladega, single file?
That was vicious.
But up front, the battle's kind of ensuing, and obviously it's starting to roll down here. 21 laps, and it does look like, obviously, Ty Marasco back there with Todd Merkel. That's still in battle there. Maxwell Caldwell on the lead lap, too. So we've got 9 drivers within kind of range, but in front of Maxwell Caldwell, he's got a 3-second, they have a 3-second gap to the first 6 drivers. So right now, as we speak, these are just 6 drivers that are looking to be your possible winners. Now, obviously, we have 20 laps to go. Anything can happen. Another screen can freeze. Another driver can rage quit. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen here tonight. But right now, it's up to these 6 to kind of get out there. And you see the O2 coming out just in time, maybe trying to get that draft to join the fray here, to just kind of be out there and not losing much time, to be honest. So I'm kind of impressed. A frozen screen, a tow, and then come back out, and right back in the mix of the field here. But Tyler Hilton's gonna be solo, so he's gonna end up falling back, and maybe can be some help to the likes of Ryan Kelly and Maxwell Caldwell, Ty Marasco, and the 2 of Todd Merkel.
I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in again tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer as we get ready to wrap this one up in about 20 laps time. But we also get ready to wrap up the Core GT series for this season here, as they're going to be starting up in just a few minutes, as they have their season finale, 1.5 hours at the Spa Francorchamps. As certainly a fun track, and a track that we definitely enjoy getting out to for the 24-hour event every year. But we are on 24-hour event this weekend that we need to focus on. Hopefully our other 2 drivers get in there and put in a good enough qualifying effort to make it at least respectable. And hopefully we're not in the bottom split. But if we are, doesn't matter. Bottom split, top split, the win is a win. That's all that really matters. And you group all the winners together. It doesn't matter. You may have finished in 200th, but if 200th is the winner of the bottom split, I don't care. We're still the winner.
Win's a win. And that's obviously a team event. You gotta do equal parts, kind of shared. So you gotta do. Each driver has to drive pretty close to the same amount of laps. You can kind of weigh it one way or the other. We do have the CSRL GT3 champion out there with us, with Christopher Hamilton. He's going to join us, and might bring our times up just a little bit, Carl, so we might find ourselves in a pickle and having to drive a little bit quicker than what we qualified. So but that'll be bringing Chris down. He can slow down a little bit. So
yeah, that sounds more like it.
But everybody's gonna go out there and do their best. And what our average is what our average is, and we're just gonna go out. We're gonna have a good time this weekend. Hang out, and maybe I'm gonna try to stream it myself, and then get out there and share with the fans out there. I think I might even just put it up on YouTube. Putting it up on my Twitch channel. Because I've got a lot more fans over here at CRN than over on my Twitch channel. I had enough people bugging them that keep watching me over on Twitch just to get affiliated, and that was a challenge enough. I don't have the partner program over there. You have to get like 75 people consistently watching you or something. Yeah, it's a little too far-fetched. I'm not that entertaining. I love to play games and I love to race, but I'm not one that sit there and try to entertain people, and there's nobody out there to talk to. Conversation back and forth it will flow when somebody's talking to you or chatting to you or whatever. And so that's why I always like to say, if you got you have a favorite driver out there and you want to know where he stands at the moment, or you want to see where he's going or how you're going, and Carl will ask you questions like, what's your favorite candy bar, or whatever it is. We try to keep the fans here kind of involved a little bit too, because it gives us something to talk to, and we are people up here, so do like to conversate back and forth and not just make up everything.
Well, I think it shows you what people out there feel about your driving, Jimmy. I mean, they don't want to watch you on Twitch, but they'll gladly hop in to see her in here and listen to you and watch others drive. So, I mean, I don't know what that says about you or me when it comes to
I'll only be driving the car part of the time, so you guys don't have to watch that too much. And Carl will be here too.
Yeah, Jimmy will let you know when he's getting out of the car, so you guys can hop in and watch. Well, some good driving out here, and we've been, no surprise here, lean and green from the beginning of this race. We're now getting ready to complete lap number 66 here at Talladega. It is DJ Mitzel leading the way. You got Todd Poston, Len McNeese, Sean Wilder, and Cole Spaulding for your top 5. Brandon Muir, the 6th car in the lead pack at the front here. As a 6-car breakaway, 2 seconds ahead of Maxwell Caldwell, Ty Marasco, Todd Merkel, through the 3-man, plus the lap car of Ryan Kelly leading this little pack here. And then you got to go another 15 seconds back to pretty much the rest of the field. You got 10th on back, Larson, Kilroe, Khan, Hasty, Blunt, Garrett, Taylor, Lee, and Pratt, all in the third grouping out here, and really barring a caution or some rough pit strategy or something like that, you could be looking at exactly this. You could be looking at a 6-car battle here for the win of this thing. It seems like that second group getting wound up here a little bit. It was about 2 seconds. It's down under 2 seconds, only just. It's down to 1.9 seconds. So the 4 cars here working together as good as they can, and you see every once in a while some of the cars dipping out there, get a little fresh air on the front end and to the engine, because you're pushing this close, like Maxwell Caldwell right there. You could very well heat that engine up a little bit too hot, but Caldwell doing everything he can, and again, it's coming down. It's down to 1.85 now, so little by little they're chipping into this lead, but little by little the time is starting to run out too.
Yeah, 94 all over the bumper, and that's the push that we're talking about. You can see the little bump here, bump there, and they're light, and you can't get the rear end loose, so you gotta hit square. Obviously, Ryan Kelly's been around. He knows he's a good driver, and Maxwell Caldwell doing a fantastic job pushing. And the 1 and the 2 are really tucked up tight underneath one another as well. They're not pushing, but they are almost at a point where they could be pushing. And they're just kind of creeping up on the field there. They are coming. They are closing.
Big time.
Yeah, they're closing pretty big here, and they're about to catch the draft. They're at 1.4, so they got another 2/10. They can squeak out another 2/10 doing what they're doing. The front field should probably start thinking about. They'll probably start thinking about making moves here soon as well. They're coming up on a lap car there. I think that was Kay Green up there in the front. Yep, Kay Green up there on the 9th thing. Yeah, so, and I'm sure Cade will kind of tuck down in there, and that's going to give a little more, like he's going to fall in, and if he falls back just a little bit, that's some draft that that Maxwell Caldwell and Ryan Kelly might need to catch this group. This might be a benefit for them, and obviously the 13, just a lap car, but helping his league mates out here, and it's fun. You know you're a lap down, you're not going to win, but like, if I can drag these 3 cars back up to the lead pack and give them the opportunity for a win here tonight, that's a win for the 13. And I'm sure I'll get plenty of thanks if any of these 3 drivers finish in the top 3 here tonight, as he's been working his tail off and leading the charge here, allowing the other drivers to kind of save fuel if they can a little bit or whatever it may need. But you can see the distance between the 7. Yeah, they're in the tow now. So because Maxwell and Brandon Muir are 0.9 seconds, which means Ryan Kelly's closer, and the lap car of Kay Green is even closer than that. So this is what they need, and this is what's going to yank them to the front. But what's going on with Todd? Come on, Todd, don't lose. Don't lose it now. You're right there.
Hopefully his monitor didn't shut off on him as well, but yeah, he's tantalizingly fallen back here, and not sure what happened, but he's now down to 0.9. and now down to over a second, and he has lost the draft. He is outside of the range unless somebody drops back to pick him up. So it is now an 8-car battle at the front. You see Cade Green getting up out of the way, letting the rest of the field do some battling. Ryan Kelly not getting out of the way. He is trying to stay in there. He is wants to be in the lucky dog position just in case, but also he's trying to help out whoever he can get to the front of this field, and working out pretty well right now, as he is second in line, and now looks to the outside, or not, but he's actually going to duck out of the way now. He's like, all right, I did my job, boys. Now it's on you. And it looks like 71 dropping back a little bit there as Brandon Muir may slow up that outside line. 91 of Sean Wilder leads this thing. Cole Spaulding, Mitchell, Poston, and McNeese for your top 5. They got Caldwell, Marasco, Mir for your top 8 that are in this grouping right here. You also have the 13 of Ryan Kelly and the 19 of Cade Green kind of in their own little battle as well for a lucky dog position, with Cade Green down 2 laps right now. And now we got some battling at the front as Wilder goes up to try and put the blocks on again, but he's going to get shuffled out now, I believe, as Mitchell goes to the inside. Poston's going to follow, and here comes maybe a train, and no, we're going to have our first caution as the 91 hooking the 4 here. We'll have to take a look back and see the incident here again, but that's going to bring out a caution, and big incident there as we'll see it right here. And actually it looks like that is the 4 coming up the track and hooking himself across the nose of the 91. Big impact right there, and 3 cars going to get a meatball flag because of it, as you got Len McNeese, see right there, hammer on the outside wall. DJ Mitchell, the 4, obviously hitting the wall right away, and then Cade Green coming in here at the end as Len McNeese coming down the track and just gets the back bumper of that 19, points him up towards the outside wall, and just enough of that front right smacking the outside wall to give himself a meatball as well. So rough one right there, but what it's going to do, Jimmy, it's going to put a lot of drivers back up here in the mix. It's going to put, I believe, Ryan Kelly back on the lead lap if he's the lucky dog. We got ourselves a big old race here again, and we're under 10 laps to go.
Now we can go racing, boys and girls. It's unfortunate for those involved. But it just took your last hour that you've been here and crunched it all together. And anybody who was kind of back 10, 15 seconds, now I'm back bumpers. You know, some of the drivers might have to come in to get repairs, take that fast repair. They do have one. They only had 2 sets of tires. And they only have 1 green white checker as well. So if we do go into overtime, it will only be once. Well, not a lot of overtime allowed it here for Talladega. Obviously, a great race so far. The distance between the groups was based on the ability to execute a pit stop. You know, whether it was pulling into the box, whether it was maintain speed down pit road, just getting down in the pit lane, and then doing it as a team. Having some sort of strategy to do it within a nice sized group, and that's what you were seeing just before the caution came out. Was where people kind of stood with their pit stops tonight, and that's kind of where everything was. But the number 91, one from the front, is going to come down towards the back, and you see even Dalton Kilroe coming down. Maybe going to grab a set of them tires, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, again, tires aren't a big thing here. I tell you, you're not going to wear out your tires, but you can feel a little bit more comfortable on a fresh set of tires, and the car will stick a little bit better, won't dance around as much.
Garrett, Wilder, Kahn, McNeese, Taylor.
Yeah, not surprised to see a lot of cars going down here in the pits, especially towards the back. It's worth it. If you got a set of tires, just go ahead and grab those tires and get ready for a hard push to the front, as Mitchell gets a black flag coming into the pits, so he's going to have to serve a penalty here as well. But he unfortunately would have been penalized anyway, and starting from the rear of the field. having caused the caution on that one. But we're going to be down under 5 laps to go when we get this thing going. And like I said, you don't have to really get to racing until lap 75. Well, we're going to be down to those last 5 laps here in just a moment. It's been a good one out here tonight. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors, Gold Line Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for everything that they do here for the series. And thank Tim Lee for getting out here and being out here with the boys tonight. And he's up there in 10th. Don't count out the number 24 just yet.
Yeah, Tim's kind of been hanging out in mid-pack. He was back in the second group and working well with those that were back there. And now he has time for a little bit of redemption to kind of get out there and maybe get that number 24 up to the front. Maybe we can talk to Tim Lee tonight. That would be nice.
Certainly be different for sure. Get him up there in the top 3. We're certainly gonna be talking to him next week to kind of put a wrap on the season and talk about the upcoming truck series, how to get in and everything like that. As they're already, I believe, starting the the acceptance process of getting drivers ready for season, the second season, I guess, here in 2026 with the truck series. And again, definitely looking forward to that one. But we're still gonna decide this penultimate race here tonight. And Jimmy, the 41, is back in the mix here. I wrote him off as soon as he qualified on that front row, but now. He's got a shot again. He's got a shot. I can't say he's going to win this thing because, again, he started on the front row. So he already screwed himself with qualifying. But we'll see how far up your points leader and most likely points champion we'll get here tonight for this one. But it's time to get him going here, as we're going to have 4 laps remaining when we get this green flag, and we'll have to decide who is going to win this thing. And who do you think out there in Sierra Nation, who do you think is going to take home the checkered flag here tonight, as this was a good run here at Talladega and didn't get a caution until about 5 laps to go. So love to see that for sure. But it's time to decide the winner here. It's not a green, white checkered. We're going to have green, white checkered, as long as they stay green here. As we're going to have 4 to go when we get back to the line, and it's Todd Poston, Cole Spaulding on that front row.
And they got a long time here, and obviously we've seen 31 up there early on leading the way, and I think you're going to see some driving, some defensive driving kind of come out here. They're not going to be as like, okay, whatever. And I think you might even see some 3 wide. The 2 wide was even non-existent here tonight for the majority of the race, but I can see 3 wide happening here, Carl, and trying to see who's going to come with who to push them around there and possibly get it, get a top spot. If you got 3 people side by side, P4 is an extremely close finish, so it's going to be a good one. We have 5 laps to go right now. We'll cross the line, and we have 4 laps to go, so that can be a white checker in effect here tonight, unless incident occurs, and then we will go into overtime, because we know these drivers out here love them some Talladega Superspeedway racing.
Waiting for that restart zone as we get into the United Rentals restart zone now, and Boston waits a long time and backs up the field here a little bit, and a little chain reaction going all the way back. I see dink all the way going back through the field, but everybody keeps it straight, keeps it going here, as that got a little bit sketchy there on this restart here, but we get it going, and it is the 31 of Poston getting pushed out front by the 94 of Caldwell. Spaulding trying to stick to the outside of the 94 to try and pull him back and pull that outside line up to speed. The 71, though, gets to the back of the 94, gives him a little shot, as the inside line definitely got something going here. Marasco trying to catch up on the outside to get the second line rolling.
Yeah, and it's one thing I'm trying to watch over to the right-hand side of myself is see the rest of the field. They're 2 wide as well, all the way back, and you can see the 4 shooting the gap there in the middle. I'm trying to get a position here to be able to battle, but here they go. They're going to spread out 3 wide.
Oh! Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. as we hit the line there, and now it's 3 laps to go here. 3 wide is definitely gonna happen here tonight. It's already happening right now towards the back half of the top 10, but McNeese not getting anything going on that outside, and unfortunately Tim Lee kind of stuck out there as well. And taking a look, and I believe, yeah, Ryan Kelly is back on the lead lap as he was a lucky dog on that one. But it's now the 13 going to drop back here a little bit as we're going to have another caution. And I believe as Gordon Larson, as he's kind of behind the RVs for me. And that's just a kind of a racing incident right there. And a little, he bumped the 71 and kind of got him a little bit loose. And then it just kind of backed him up right into the 6, unfortunately. And that is going to cause our second caution tonight. And now we will be in green, white checker territory.
Yeah, so definitely another couple of laps here for caution. If you maybe a chance to get on the lead lap, I think that will bring Tyler Hill. Move this here to this. No, he's 2 laps down, so he'll still be well done. So unfortunately, but 19 drivers on the lead lap, 19 drivers still available to win this race here. As the drivers work their way around, obviously catching the pace car and kind of grouping them back up again. They were all grouped up and battling, as you can see what happens when drivers go 3 wide and trying to win and try to give it everything it's got. One small bump the wrong way and around somebody will go. It doesn't take much to go sideways at 200 miles an hour.
One and only one attempt here at a green white checker to get the winner here tonight, so I'm sure Cole Spaulding wouldn't mind getting a good restart here, and then everybody just wrecking behind him and just gladly take this win at Talladega, because we've seen some crazy finishes. And what's crazy though, Jimmy, is, knock on wood, we haven't seen one end under caution in quite some time. We've seen a lot that the caution comes out pretty much as soon as they get the white flag, whether it happens in the tri-oval or in turn number 1. But for the most part, they race back to the line, and we've seen some pretty epic finishes, 3, 4, 5 wide, sliding sideways, backwards, upside down, you name it. We've seen it here.
Yeah, I think we've seen about any kind of finish even known possible here. You know, thousandths of a second, like you said, sideways, backwards, through the grass. it's always interesting at Dega, and it's not like, you know, the start-finish line is, you know, at the center of the tri-oval. It's before, you know, just after it. So they do have a long time to kind of ramp up and get the run coming out of turns number 4 on the outside typically, and if done correctly, that's where you can get your win. That's where I got my win, coming off the outside out of a 3 and 4, as I just held the side draft, and then once I was able to, you know, get around, I took the you know, just kept the car as close as I could to the driver down to the inside, and the guy behind me was right on my bumper. He's like, "Do not lose the side draft at all, Covert." And so I just did what he told me, and he pushed me. So, and he ended up, the guy ended up finishing 3rd, but he was happy just to get up there and finish clean and you know, be able to help somebody get a win. So I won't forget it. It was definitely a memory many years ago now. I can't believe it's been 6 years, I think.
Don't date yourself like that, Jimmy.
Yeah.
don't do it to yourself.
It's been a while. I just can't believe I've been doing iRacing that long. You know, you pick up a hobby, you know, I won't say forced hobby, but just looking for a hobby, something to do, especially when COVID was around, and when you're a race fan and you like video games, and you got the chance to purchase a wheel and pedal set for $100. Yeah, let's do it. So that's how it started. With a cheap $100 and a free trial on iRacing, I was hooked, and I'm still here. So 6 years later, we won't say the amount of money that I've spent. That's enough.
Yeah, no.
That's a lot. I could have bought a car, a real car. Not a race car. just a real car.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. And I've seen some memes and things like that on Facebook recently about that. You know, that sim racers justifying the amounts that they spent on their setups and everything like that. Like, well, I spent $13,000 on my rig and my computer and my whole setup, but a real car costs $200,000. So in my eyes, I saved $187,000. So,
sure, I mean, I had no monthly payments. The only monthly payment that I've done, and I only do it once a year, is the iRacing subscription. That's it. Now I am very close. I'm not a part of the 100 club, but I have probably about 95% of all content on iRacing. Like these cars here, I own the Ford and the Chevy. I have not bought the Toyota. I don't even know why I bought the second one, because they all run the same. They look a little bit different from the dashboards, but I guess before I started painting, I kind of chose the car and like the paints that I could find on Trading Paints. So I was like, all right, well, this one has that one in there, and I like that, so I'm gonna buy the Chevy. And I'd go to the next series, like the trucks, and I'd be like, oh, I like the Ford because of this paint scheme, so I'd buy that one. So I had no rhyme or reason. All I know is I always bought 3 until I hit 40, and then you can buy them. They're always 20% off or whatever it is once you get a certain amount. So except unless the stuff is like legacy, and then some of the legacy stuff you still have to purchase those, and they're like $5 a piece. So
yeah, even like the tech tracks and stuff, which is kind of crazy that they even charge you for that. But they put in the time to at least get it to that point. I know for the longest time, Long Beach was a tech track, and it looked like it was one that we're never going to complete. And then all of a sudden, it's probably got to be what, probably 5-6 years ago now. It's been a while now since they finally completed Long Beach, but for a while it was just like the overhang,
there you go.
the fountain, everything like that was just kind of like lines and sticks. It wasn't anything solid. The only thing that's solid was the track, but they've since finished Long Beach. But we got to finish this race here tonight. Back to the United Rental restart zone, a little bit better restart on this one. Didn't have the accordion effect, as Spalding is gonna get slightly to the lead here into turn number 1. Which line is going to get the better run? Looks like maybe the outside line right now going to form up a little bit quicker, but the 2 and 31 kind of doing drag racing. It looks like the 2 may get to the 1 first, give him a little shot down the backstretch, as now Pratt looks to go to the outside. Got to be careful. That was close to a hook right there on the 2. And now we might see it right here on the backstretch. We got a car sent down to the inside. I think that was Spalding. And yeah, indeed it was Spalding, but we're going to stay green here as we got some 3 wide racing at the front. Marasco leads the way. You got the 2 of Todd Merkel in second. Pratt now up into third, looking to go back to front as he always does. White flag in the air. We did have a little bit of a wreck on the backstretch, but we will see the checkered flag here tonight under green flag conditions. Spalding, unfortunately, going to pick up a meatball from that, as the 4 of Mitzel tried to go 4 wide there to get around Len McNeese as he's trying to get back to the front here. Marasco leads it, though, on the backstretch. Merkel still tucked in behind. And now we got a nice little run here, a couple runs coming from the backside. The 72 dives down to the inside, going to make it 3 wide, but heading into 3, the 2 is still pushing the 1, not dipping out just yet. Checker flag getting ready to wave here, as now the 77 of Pratt goes to the outside. Is it going to be too early, too late? Marasco goes up there to block, going to chase it all the way up there. The 77 looking for a way around, gets to the side, but he didn't look about the inside, because Poston gets there, and Poston gonna get the win here at the line, 0.01 over Marasco. So over Pratt, as Marasco heads into the tri-oval, the leader, and heads across the finish line in third as he falls 2 spots. The outside inside line both get him, as he was worried about Pratt on the outside. Poston snuck up the inside there, and he's going to sneak away with the win here tonight. And you got John Garrett, a good finish there, coming back to finish in the top 5 in 4th. Mike Hasty in 5th.
I'll go back here and see what happened. Cole. What the heck? This is the one, right? Yeah.
He's on the backstretch, so it was probably even before this.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it happened on the backstretch when he was up at the front right after the restart.
Okay. I just had when I clicked on this. When I clicked on it. Okay, weird.
Either way, it is Todd Poston that is going to get his second win on the season here, and it was a fantastic one here. As now you'll see right there, it was actually Poston that got into the back of him here, but no penalties here because there was no caution, or at least no penalty as of right now. But I mean, it looked like it was an okay bump right there. But you see right there, the 49 gets maybe a little bit loose now. It seems like he's still going straight and up. Maybe it was actually the 71 giving a shot to the 94 that sends him down into the 49. And unfortunately, Poston was already kind of committed to the back bumper, and the 49 goes for a bit of a spin cycle here, and as he comes to hit the inside wall. But we'll get our top three in for their interviews here in a second. Certainly well-deserved here tonight, and a great drive by all these drivers. Once again, I want to thank everyone out there in CRA Nation for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as we still got some more racing going on right now. The 1.5 hour season finale for the Core GT series going on right now. But we'll go ahead and get these top three here in for the interviews. In the meantime, Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of tonight's finishing order?
Yeah, quick rundown of tonight's finishing order here. You have Todd Poston with the win. And number 31 over Michael Pratt. So great run there for the 77 back to front. Ty Marasco finished in third. John Garrett in fourth. Mike Hasty in fifth. And then you have in sixth place, you have Sean Wilder. Eric Blount will finish in seventh. Ryan Kelly in eighth. Maxwell Caldwell in ninth. Tim Lee finishes in 10th. Len McNeese in 11th. Robert Kahn, Michael Taylor, Brandon Muir, DJ Mitchell, Dalton Kilrow, Cole Spalding, Tyler Hilton. And then the rest of the field will be Todd Merkel, Cade Green, Gordon Larson, and Hemi Gardini for your 22 car field here tonight with VVR at Talladega Superspeedway.
We got two of our top three here ready for their interviews. I think that the winner may be still doing a little bit of celebrating, but we'll go ahead and bring in our third place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be Ty Marasco in the number one. Ty, you had yourself in a great spot, and maybe the best spot here, obviously coming to the tri-oval as a leader, white flag in the air, coming to the checkered. You had to feel like you couldn't really be in a better spot leading going into the tri-oval, and you ended up coming home in third.
Yeah. Well, if this was Daytona, I'd be doing burnouts right now. But it's Talladega, and you know what they say: you make one block, you can't make two. Really wanted a clean finish there, just to have a good finish towards the end. Really wanted to win. Put us at least the top, pushed me out there. Knew I was kind of a sitting duck at the end there coming out. I knew I had to make a block, and I made one block, and then just, I feel like if I was moving up and down the track trying to block 3 lanes, we were going to wreck. So didn't want that to happen. It was a good race. It was fun. It was a battle trying to catch those guys the run before, trying to draft to get up there, and we caught them. And then the caution comes out, of course. But, we put ourselves in a good spot to win. And like I said, if it was Daytona, we're a winner. But it's Talladega, and we're in third. But we'll take home P3.
Yeah, definitely a good run for you. And I'm sure you were one of the drivers happy with the caution that came out to kind of group you guys all up together, as it definitely brought a lot of cars back into the mix of things, and even give you a shot here tonight. But I mean, all in all, a great run by all you guys, going pretty much 90% of the race before you see the first caution, and then we had the green-white checkered attempt here. But we got one more race left in the season, and another 2.5 mile tri-oval. But the tricky triangle of Pocono coming up next week. How do you feel about it?
I race really well at Pocono, especially in this car. I like it a lot, so I look forward to it. And then, it's been a good season. I know hopefully we can get a win. I was hoping to get a win this season, but we've had a lot of times in talking to you guys up in the booth. So, I mean, as long as we can finish out with the top 3, that'd be nice, and then move on to the next season, and hopefully maybe we can get a win then.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. As good as your season started, and looking like maybe as good as your season's going to finish, that you haven't gotten a win here this season. You've been so close so many times, but either way, a good bounce back season, and hopefully you can maybe break through at Pocono. But before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I think you guys in the booth, everybody puts it on Tim. Everything. It's a fun league and very clean, as you can see at Talladega. Not really too many races are as clean as that. It's pretty boring actually, for the most of it, but. Yeah, we had a fun finish at the end, and it was, I'm glad all those guys kept it clean too, and we raced it to the end. That's what you like to see. It's not fun watching a big pile up on the last lap and somebody wins because they were in 15th.
Agreed. Well, either way, congrats on another podium here tonight for the one. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week at Pocono.
Yep.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the one of Ty Marasco. Second place here tonight is going to go for the man that starts from the back, and he finally gets an interview here, Jimmy. It's going to be the 77 of Michael Pratt.
Mike, it's Jimmy Carl in the booth. You copy, buddy?
I got you.
It's not a season unless we talk to the 77. It's we kind of question why you're starting to back every week, but we've come to accept it, and we watch you every single week, root you on to see if you can get it done, and you get it done here tonight for sure at Talladega. And obviously you got caught where you're chasing down the field with the second pack there for a while, and then the caution kind of came out and gave you guys all that opportunity to get in there, and another caution and put you even in a better spot. And then thought you were going to have it there for a minute, then thought you were going to finish third, and then you just squeaked it out here for a second place. So didn't lose by much, 0.01, and then Tom Marasco was 0.04 behind you. So very, very close for you top 3 crossing that start finish line, and that was a great battle there at the end. So give us a little bit of a rundown of your race and what it takes to start from the back and come from the back and get to the front each and every week.
Well, like restricted plate racing, you just got to bide your time till the end, hoping that you have a chance you're close enough to get it. But I mean, got lucky tonight. I would have been 18th place or outside top 12 somewhere, but thank God for that caution. It definitely saved my butt. Just somehow lost the pack on off pit road, and luckily things worked out at the end. But I mean, I learned how to pass people, and I save my stuff a little bit more, I feel like, and I just start passing people as they're wearing out. But it's fun. It's fun for me. I like passing people.
That you do. A lot of times you especially from the get-go, you will see you in the back, and the next thing you know, you're in the middle of the field. Like, maybe it's too early. What's he doing? But no, it's a lot of fun watching the 77 out there as you challenge yourself. And, obviously there's a lot of competition here, a lot of green flag racing. So it gives you that opportunity to kind of do those passes and take your time and try different strategies. And it definitely showed here tonight, being able to make that pass and get it here cleanly and finish in P number 2. So congratulations, man. It's always a great time to talk to you, but we're going to give you some time for any shouts you might have in at number 77.
I appreciate you guys up in the booth. See you, Ren. You guys do an awesome job. Appreciate Tim, Mr. Hilton, Mr. Garrett, everybody who's involved in this, making this go. Len McNeese. I know there's more people, DJ Mitchell. I really appreciate you guys letting me run this. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully next week we go out with a bang.
Well, looking forward to seeing you at the Tricky Triangle Pocono and finish this season out, and then hopefully we'll see you back out there with the trucks the following season. So again, congratulations on tonight. Thank you for the shout outs, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Yes, sir.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, Michael Pratt in the 77. Top spot here tonight for the second time this season is going to be the 31 of Todd Pawson. Todd, it looked like you had a heck of a good time out there, doing really good pushing. A lot of the drivers, you were able to push the one out to the lead there on the final lap, and it looked like, for all intents and purposes, you were maybe happy just kind of hanging back there and pushing the one out there to try and get you guys a good finish. But all of a sudden, Michael Pratt to the outside, and it looked like the one kind of chased him up there to try and do a little blocking, and the seas just kind of parted free, and like, okay, well, I'll gladly take the inside going through the tri-oval.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what happened. Like you said, I was just pushing the 77, and yeah, me and Marasco were just talking. He said he went up to kind of block and slow down the 77, and that killed their run, and I was able to drop to the bottom, and I just had the momentum to go around him.
I mean, it's nice when a plan works out there, because clearly that's what you're going for the whole time. Just make it look like I'm just hanging back here. Don't pay no attention to me. You go ahead and up there and block. Nothing's going to happen. All of a sudden you snipe them there right at the end, and you get the win, but not by much. I mean, both you and Pratt obviously getting around the one there to the finish line, but you only get Pratt by 0.01 seconds at the end. But 2 super speedway wins here for you. I mean, it certainly seems like it's your flavor for sure, as you win the 6th race of the season at Daytona, and then pick one up here at Talladega as well.
Yeah, supers are definitely where I'm able to keep up. I'm a super speedway driver at the end of the day, pretty much. I ran with DJ and all them, like I said, and what happened there, and that was unfortunate, but it is what it is, and we'll rack them up next week and do it again.
All right, buddy. Well, either way, you get yourself a second win here tonight. We'll see what you can do at Pocono for the final race of the season. See if maybe you can sneak another 2.5 mile track win. I know it's not a super speedway, but you never know. We'll see what that 31 Nerds machine has. But before we let you go and get out of here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'm just going to thank you guys for showing up and doing this every week. And like I said, even though I know you guys take the abuse a little bit if the cautions don't go how we feel, and I'll reach out my apology there a little bit there, overreacting a little bit with it.
Oh, no, we're good.
Don't worry about that. Just make it sure. Like
no, don't worry about that.
Yeah, I didn't want you to think that it was intentional or anything. I was just, from what I saw in the car, that's how it looked.
No, we're good. We're good. Yeah, no, all good, buddy. I don't mind. You'll know as well as Jimmy knows that I can kind of multitask. That's why I can type with you. I can talk during the broadcast. I'm good to go. We'll clear things up for sure.
That's exactly what I was doing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, that doesn't look right.
No, we're good, buddy. And yeah, anytime you question it, I'm more than willing to go back and take a look at it, because maybe there is something that we missed on our end. But either way, take some time and don't worry about that. Celebrate this victory here tonight, and get yourself to Pocono. But did we have any other shout outs you want to give before we get out of here?
No, like I said, Tim for putting on the races, and like I said, you guys showing up every week and put on a great broadcast every week.
All right, we appreciate that, buddy. We'll let you go get out of here, and we'll see you at the season finale next week at Pocono.
All right, bud. Have a great one.
You too. That is the 31, Todd Poston, getting another super speedway victory here this season. He won at Daytona. Might as well wrap it up and win it at Talladega here as well. So great run here, and at the right spot at the right time. And Jimmy, once again, 2 things I am right about, and I don't mind being right for sure. You can ask my wife about that, even though she'll tell me I'm never right. But certainly, the 41 cannot qualify in that front row. You got to keep Dalton Kilrow off of that front row if he wants a chance of winning, and you don't want to lead on that white flag here at one of these super speedways. It didn't work out there for the one, and hell, apparently you can't lead going into the tri-oval on a super speedway. But either way, it was a fantastic finish with the couple cautions that worked it up here at the end. Hopefully you enjoyed it out there, and again, got some more racing going on right now for the Core GT Series to finish up their finale. But that's going to do it for myself and Jimmy here from the Talladega Super Speedway. We'll see you at the track.